Today I'm going to show you what you can do with dollar store art supplies, and we're going to kind of investigate which purchases make sense and can be really helpful and which ones are not so great and you should just go to a regular art supply store. I'm a big believer in the fact that anyone that wants to create should create, and art supplies are notoriously expensive. So honestly, if all you have is access to less expensive materials, yes, good materials do help make things easier. But really, when it comes down to how a piece of art turns out, I feel like it mainly depends on skill and creativity more than if you had super fancy expensive supplies or not. So, I have my Dollar Tree bag here. They have art supplies now at really any dollar store, but Dollar Tree is one of my personal favorite places to go, so I decided to check them out first. So I have some canvas panels. This pack has 3 in them. I got a multi-pack because I wanted to try out different supplies and show you more than one example of what you could do. These look pretty much the same as any other canvas panel that you get in an art supply store. The difference I've noticed mostly is at dollar stores, the canvases are just smaller because they're less expensive. So you're probably going to get a max of maybe an 8x10 canvas panel. They're not going to have the 18x24, 16x20 or larger. So if you want to make some smaller pieces though, it works. I also found these really cool 3D stickers that are fun. Dollar Tree seem to definitely be more heavy on the crafting supplies than the traditional fine art supplies, which makes it a lot more suited for mixed media art, but I still have some traditional art supplies in here that I picked up. One of those is some oil pastels. I'm interested to see how these work because I honestly hate using oil pastels. I did, however, pick up some watercolor pencils, so we're going to see how those work. I also picked up some watercolors. The other thing you'll notice I didn't pick up is I didn't bother to get any brushes because I have tried dollar store or cheaper option brushes before for the art program I work with, just a way to get a ton of brushes since we go through them really fast, and they were terrible. The bristles were just falling out as you were painting, and they were getting stuck in your paint, which there's not much you can do about that once it dries and your painting looks like it's growing hair. That's just very frustrating. The heads were falling off of them, so I'm just gonna tell you right now, dollar store brushes, don't bother. They did, however, have these water brush pens I've always wanted to try anyway. I kept seeing them online, and so 2 of these for $1. So I'm curious to see if they actually work or not. The last thing I picked up, which is really good for, again, mixed media art, is this cool pack of variety paper. And this is really neat because if all you're going to do is chop it up for mixed media anyway and you don't need the full sheets, this is a great option because there's all different textures and sheens in here, all different kinds of cool paper. And this kind of stuff really can be quite expensive typically. So now I'm going to take what I have and try them out and try to make some cool art and see what happens.
I'd been wondering with this scrap paper pack if they just put all the cool looking ones on top and that when I opened it up it would just be a lot of plain cardstock, but I was pleasantly surprised. There's a really nice variety of different sizes, sheens, and textures inside, so very cool. The watercolor pencils were also very nice. I really saw no difference between these and ones I get at an art supply store. The biggest surprise of all though were these fillable brush pens. They work absolutely fantastic for only 50 cents each. It was easy to control how much liquid comes out based on how hard or soft you press the sides of the tube, and the bristles were great, very soft, great blending, no shedding at all. These are absolutely excellent, and I'm definitely going to be buying more. The watercolor paints were just okay. I found that I didn't need to add as much water because they were already kind of diluted compared to normal tube watercolors. I also noticed that when they dry with kind of a chalky finish, more similar to the watercolors that you get in the pans. And again, given the price, it's something I expected. I think they're still decent, certainly, for only paying $1 for the whole pack. Dollar Tree also had Tacky Glue, the original brand, which is great. It was just carried in smaller size tubes, about the height of a container of Elmer's school glue. So this is perfect if you're not going to need a ton of glue. You can just pick up a smaller amount for $1. Now I'm going to try to do a classic watercolor resist with the oil pastels and watercolor. Now right on the package of these oil pastels, it says for adult artists only, not a toy for children. So they're being real serious about it, but the first thing I noticed when I took them out is that they are very waxy. They don't feel oily at all, and they're not resisting the watercolor at all. So yeah, pretty sure these pastels are a bust. Even as I try to use them over top the dry watercolor, they're just not really doing anything, so pretty useless. I definitely give these a hard pass. Now I'm excited to try out these stickers. They're very heavy duty, and as you can see, absolutely gorgeous. The backs are super sticky. I thought I'd have to add some extra tacky glue on the back to get them to stick, but they are actually by far the stickiest stickers I think I've ever seen in my life. Yeah, they're adhering right to the canvas with no problem at all. I really hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope that this showed you that you don't have to spend a ton of money on art supplies to make something cool. It really is about practicing and growing your own personal skill and how creative you are. That's what matters more than having a certain brand of supplies. Dollar stores can be hit or miss, so it really does take a lot of experimentation. That's why I'm happy to do it for you. If you have any other art products from dollar stores that you'd like me to try out, please drop me a comment. Thanks for watching.